Hey there, friends and enemies. JoPa here again, and today I want to talk about my ultimate Ionic Trace Warlock build for Arc 3.0 in Destiny 2 Season of the Plunder. That was a mouthful, but let's jump into it because I am very excited to show this off. I think the new exotics, Fallen Sunstar and Delicate Tomb, synergize really well together, so I'm excited about that. And this is a build that will get even better because I don't have the catalyst for Delicate Tomb, and I'm missing one of the fragments that'll be unlocked after the raid. However, this build is still phenomenal even without it. Starts off with I'm running Chaos Reach and then Healing Rift. Those don't matter as much. You can pick whatever you want there. Also, I prefer Chain Lightning because it does jolt your targets and chain to nearby enemies. This comes into play later on. Arc Bolt Grenade. The reason this is one of my fragments, I'm going to be distributing Jolt to as many enemies as possible, and this will chain to a lot of them all at once. Now, I'm running Electrostatic Mind, which is pretty solid for defeating targets with arc abilities, or defeating jolted or blinded targets creates an Ionic Trace. The jolted is the important part there, because I'm tossing my grenade, I'm doing my melee, jolting targets, and then I'm creating just maximum amount of Ionic Traces, and then collecting Ionic Traces makes you amplified. So basically you'll have 100% uptime on being amplified as long as you're in combat. Arc Soul, I really like this. While amplified, your Arc Souls are supercharged and gain increased fire rate. That's really fun, so I'm dropping my Rift as often as possible to get the Arc Soul. I like that as my secondary option. Spark of Beacons, when you're amplified, your arc special weapons create a blinding explosion. So there's the blinding there. And I'm using my arc fusion as much as possible. Now we've also got arc grenades, jolt targets. I'm minus 10 discipline, but you're getting your abilities back pretty fast anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I like that fragment as well. And then arc weapon and final blows have a chance to create an Ionic Trace, and then finishers may make you amplified. This is just a bonus if you want to amplify yourself if necessary, and then add additional recovery for the Warlock. I was running Duty Bound, but honestly, I barely even touched my primary weapon unless I absolutely had to. You can use anything you need in here if you need to throw in something for any kind of champions or whatever type of activity. This weapon doesn't matter so much. This is where it all comes together. Delicate Tomb. This weapon absolutely slaps in PvE. It's 100% one that you should be trying out as often as possible with Arc 3.0. It's phenomenal. I love it, and you definitely should be checking it out. And again, final blows generate Ionic Traces. That's going to make you amplified. It just really works out well for you. Then we've got a Hothead, Explosive Light, and Adept Big Ones, all that kind of good stuff, Field Prep. This thing smacks if you can collect some orbs, so that's just a good idea to have a heavy boss damage weapon, because that's why I have Chaos Reach and everything. You can use these two for your ad clear and as well as your abilities. Now, Fallen Sunstar, if you didn't know, improved Ionic Traces. Ionic Traces you create move faster and grant you additional ability energy. This is why you're generating your abilities so quickly. Nearby enemies also gain ability energy when you collect an Ionic Trace. So that comes in handy, and then I'll run things like Agent Ordnance. This is going to really enhance my rocket launcher as well. And then Fusion Rifle Finder, Harmonic Siphon. You can kind of throw on whatever you need here. It's not a big deal. Then we got Ever Ready, which is nice. Become charged with light by rapidly defeating multiple combatants with fusion rifles or shotguns. You're going to be doing this very often with your fusion rifle, so that's really handy. I threw this on so you can get increased ready speed of fusion rifles, which is nice. So that's why I threw on momentum transfer there. I also have high energy fire. I actually didn't throw any other mods on there, so you can just throw something like that on and have all of your resistances up, so you can have high damage resist there if you would like, and then kind of throw anything you would want on here. Probably something like resilience if you don't have high enough, because resilience comes in handy right now. But with those resistance mods, it's not a big deal. Then we've got Fusion Rifle Scavenger, we've got Innovation, and we've got Recovery mod. And then finally, this is another good one. We've got Radiant Light and then Outreach. So you're going to generate the Charge with Light for your allies, and yeah, that comes in handy. So that's how you're going to become charged with light. You're going to stay charged with light. You're going to stay generating those Ionic Traces and become amplified. It's a lot of fun. In the gameplay, I'm running Gambit. The reason I like to do that to show off my builds is because it's kind of universal when you look at Gambit when you're taking down these big yellow bar enemies, how much damage you can do, chunking bosses, all that kind of good stuff. It gives you a good baseline for how much you're doing. There's not really a lot of other activities in the game right now that push you in the direction of dealing a bunch of damage, clearing ads, and taking down bosses. So this combines all of that for you, especially if you have a team that's not really running with you as much, you know what I'm saying? If they're not slaying out like you are, you can really destroy a lot of ads, take down the yellow bars. I mean, I took down the high value targets in just like 2 shots with the fusion rifle. So it is phenomenal. I love this build. I've been having so much fun with it. The reason being, you can every time you get to a new location, you can spam abilities. If you're in another piece of content where the ads are a little bit more dense and you're just kind of by yourself spamming abilities and then using your fusion rifle, phenomenal. You're going to be absolutely generating your abilities so fast. You can just toss them, whether it's a melee, a grenade, or your rift, all the time, and just generating so many Ionic traces that you're going to be juiced up to the max. I absolutely love this build, and it's probably my favorite one. If you have not gotten the Fallen Sunstar, the new exotic helmet for the Warlocks yet, definitely try to snag that as soon as possible. Today is when this is dropping. You just have until reset to get your helmet from the Legend or the Master Lost Sector. But if you haven't had a chance to get this by the time you watch this video, when this comes back around, absolutely I would recommend getting this and playing around with the Fallen Sunstar, because it is quickly becoming one of my favorite exotics for the Warlock. And I wasn't expecting it when I first read this. I didn't know how well this would synergize with the Delicate Tomb and also the fragments and everything of the Stormcaller. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of this build in the comments down below. I'm going to let the gameplay continue for a little bit, but I want to know what you guys are thinking and how you might change this up to fit your playstyle, because I'm absolutely loving this. I dare say I would be willing to bring this into a day 1 raid as is, and I feel like it would perform very, very well because of how much damage you can do once you're amplified with the Delicate Tomb. Anyway, my name is JoPa. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I do a ton of Destiny content on this channel, from builds to information videos to just fun gameplay, all that kind of good stuff. So definitely subscribe if you haven't already. I do very much appreciate it. My name is JoPa once again. Have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.
I spot a high-value target. Give them hell! Incoming hostiles at the rig. Bank and you'll summon a primeval compromised. Take it out.